Okay guys, for this recipe I'm having to cut everything in half. But anyway, I'll also put this in the description. You want 1 cup of around 110 degrees of warm water. You want 1/3 cup of white sugar. And you want around, let's see, I'm cutting this in half, so it's 1.5 tablespoons of active dry yeast. So I'm going to go with like 3/4, almost a tablespoon of yeast. So, oh well, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's not going to make that big of a difference. And what you want to do is, probably what you should do is probably let the sugar dissolve first. Is probably what I should have done, but anyway. So I'm just going to kind of mix this up a little bit, and I'm going to let it sit for probably 5 minutes, or until it kind of gets, it should start getting a little bit foamy. I'm no expert at this, but anyway, so we'll let this sit just for a little bit and let the yeast kind of get to know the sugar a little bit, and we'll see what happens. So guys, while I'm waiting on the yeast and sugar to do its thing, I got like 5 pieces of it's the fully cooked bacon. It's like in the box, you know, that you get at the store. And so what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to cut it in tiny pieces. And you may be asking, well, what's the bacon for? Well, you know, you got to add bacon to bread. So, of course, that's just my rule, I guess. But anyway, I just thought this bread is going to be, it's going to have a little bit of bacon. It's going to have garlic. It's going to have a garlic flavor. It's going to have a sugar flavor. And also, it's going to have some bacon. So, and also I'm going to have some cheese in it. So, to me, I think this will be really good. I'm hoping that the bacon does not mess up the yeast, you know, when it's trying to rise and this and that. But if it does, you know, hey, I'll take that chance. And if it does, it'll still taste good. But, you know, sometimes you got to take a chance. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll finish cutting this up, and then we'll move on to the next part. Okay guys, now I'm going to add 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, which I've already got in here. And I'm also going to add a half of a 1/4 cup of olive oil. It says vegetable oil, but I always use olive oil. So I don't even know really what a half of a 1/4 would actually be. So I took this 1/4 cup and I did half of it. Again, I am splitting this recipe in half, so just in case you're wondering why I'm kind of a little confused about everything. So we got the salt and the oil mixed in, and now what we need to do is start adding the flour, and we're going to be adding 3 cups of flour total for this. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the first one. And what you want to do is you want to go ahead and you add a cup, and then kind of mix it up just a little bit. I mean, you know, you could always add all three at once, but I recommend kind of doing it like this because you're kind of mixing it as you go. Okay, I'll go ahead and get another cup of flour. Number 2. Just want to kind of work it real good, you know. This kind of reminds me of when I used to work with my dad or other bricklayers. I used to mix mortar, mix cement, and just kind of have to just keep working it. And now I need one more cup. I don't know if I got enough in this bag or not. Yeah, I sure do. So that's the last cup of that. And I always use a plastic. Some people probably prefer using wooden. I prefer plastic because seems like I can get it to unstick better. But you definitely don't want to use something like a whisk or something like that. That will definitely be a mess. It sticks to metal. Plus it gets in between the whisk. So anyway, I'm going to work with this for a little bit, and this takes a little bit of time, and then I'll come back to you and I'll show you how to knead the bread. So I'll see you in a little bit.